A big hello to all my viewers. Well, today I have with me a personality who has donned multiple hats with distinction. To start off with, he made a name of himself as a lead actor in a much acclaimed Mira Nair's Monsoon Wedding. And apart from that, he went on to do many other roles of repute. So much so that his acting career would have been sufficient as an introduction today. But he has another innings to his life in terms of contributing immensely to the growth of Indian sports. A sports fan who he has co-founded the Pro Panja League along with his wife Preeti Jhangiani, who is, of course, in our own rights, another acclaimed actress. And also he owns MMA India Show, Sports India Show, the Sports Room, and the Cricket India Show. In fact, I myself is a big follower of the MMA India page, which is, of course, one of the most followed page the world over in terms of the MMA scene the world over. Welcome to the show, Parvin Dabas. Thank you so much for coming in. It's really an honor and privilege to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Privilege to speak to you, and an honor, and always love talking about combat sports. So always up for a good chat on some Mardhar.
Yes, true. Murder. I mean, from the real life now, it's in the real fight, right? Fighting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
You know, the thing is, I'm a Jat, so I guess that Mardhar is a little in my blood. जब एक दूसरे को मारते हैं combat sports में, MMA में, तो देखने में मजा आता है.
मजा आता है. तो खून जब तक ना निकले अच्छा नहीं लगता.
नहीं, वो क्या है कि खुद भी फिर पार्टिसिपेट करने का दिल करता था. यार ये मार रहे एक दूसरे को, हम भी एक को हाथ मार देते हैं इसी में. तो you know, but jokes aside, been a very big MMA combat sports fan for a very long time. So
yes,
privileged to be part of the MMA scene in India.
True. In fact, I guess you also had been to UFC event, in one of the UFC events wherein you had been invited.
Two of them in Las Vegas and UFC Singapore as well recently, last year. So
who were on the cards in Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas, it was Corey Sandigan and Dilsha.
Oh, okay. That one, okay.
They were the main card, and UFC Singapore was, of course, Jury, where Jury won his medal.
Oh, okay. Great. Sure. True. And of course, before really going deep into your journey as a sports contributor to Indian sports, I really would like to ask you one thing. That of course, without doubt, cricket is still the undisputed number one sport here in India, and it has enhanced its position now that the women cricket is also so much in vogue. But do you still really feel that India is at the cusp of the next big thing in terms of global sports? Because no matter what, parallelly, you can see a lot of leagues coming up, right? We're talking about the ISL Football League. We're talking about the Badminton Premier League. Of course, badminton, we always been there, right? But apart from that, we also have something of late, the Volleyball Football League. And in fact, Tennis Premier League is also there. Apart from that, of course, when you talk about the grassroots sports, we also have had the Kabaddi League, which in fact is the most second viewed league after IPL. So do you really think that this is really the time for India wherein other sports has also come up of sorts, even though cricket is still the undisputed number one, like, for example, your Panja League, arm wrestling, that is also been promoted quite diligently by you. So do you think this is the right time to be in the, in this sports business, which might not be cricket, at some point of time?
Yeah, absolutely. There's two things. See, one, of course, is the rise of the leagues, right? Like you rightly said, which gives a professional platform for the athletes to aspire to. Right? It's part of the ecosystem for the athletes to make money. Now, the second thing is the rise of India in the Olympics, right? Which is the pinnacle of amateur sports, right? Which, of course, not very many people can get through. But if you see, India has steadily been doing much better, and a lot of sports icons are being created. The last one, of course, being Neeraj Chopra. So people are looking up to these guys and saying, you know what, that this can be us. There's no longer the thing of that we're not sportsmen genetically and blah blah blah, all of that. We can. And we're starting to get the infrastructure as well. I think the last decade or so, the government has been very proactive in providing for sports people infrastructure, money, programs, a structure which was not there before. Giving a support system. Corporates have stepped up as well. You see the kind of work that JSW is doing with their system and everything, Aspire Institute. I mean, it's simply amazing. So the support system is there and is much, much stronger and is much more evolved than it used to be. So because of that, a lot of Indians are taking fitness and because of that sport very seriously. Both as now I'll tell you the difference, of course, is see when you get into amateur sports as well, that okay, if it's a recognized sport and if you do decent, you'll get a government job somewhere, which is great.
Sure.
Which is great because even that sport, that the passion in the sport, they know can lead to a job as well. The second is when you're very good in a particular sport which has a league also, that there is a platform there with a certain amount of money to be made. So all of this is building a very strong sports ecosystem in the country.
True.
It's not at the level of America, Russia, China yet, but we're getting there. I think we've been doing all the right moves in the progress to becoming there.
True. In fact, as we speak, we had 4 world champions in IBA women boxing. I mean, it's amazing.
Spectacular, and hats off to the ladies, and a big congrats to the ladies.
True.
Of course, Nikhit and Lovlina have been on the scene for some time.
Yeah.
But Neetu and Saviti have come out and really made their mark. So congrats to the ladies. Absolutely wonderful, and like they, dil khush hota hai. Isse zyada kya bol?
Yes, seriously. I mean, and those were the only 4 participants that we had in different weight categories, and they've all won gold. What more can you expect?
And to tell you, boxing is actually my favorite sport.
Is it? Oh, okay.
The only sport I train in myself. I've done, of course, MMA camps. I've done kickboxing camps. I did Punjabas when I was, younger in school and college, but I don't really practice any of those. Boxing is the only one which I actually regularly train in.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. So obviously it's something
right now my training has been shut the last 3-4 months. I tore my shoulder. But otherwise, I've been a pretty regular boxing avicondo. So I train in boxing. I have a trainer, Tridev Pandey, who I train with every weekend. And I really find it a very beautiful sport. Out of all the combat sports, there's a lot of beauty and grace, and watching like a good boxing match, 2 guys at the top of their game. It's really beautiful.
True. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure. Now talking about your Pro Panja League, I mean, how did the whole idea evolve? I mean, in a scenario wherein, of course, arm wrestling is something that's evolving and it will keep on evolving. It's only getting better and better with, your Pro Panja League, of course, contributing the maximum to it, so to say. You are kind of, a leading light in that front. But how did the whole idea of arm wrestling, came out in a scenario which is, not a mainstream sport, so to say, in a country, wherein we've got, say, cricket, football, and other sports. Of course, kabaddi. Kabaddi is something that's, of course, it's already recognized as, even though it's a grassroots sport, it's really doing very well. But with all the other background, how did that whole idea of you selecting a sport which is, so to say, not a mainstream sport, did you really, find passion in?
So there are 2 things. One, of course, it had to be a sport that I loved and would want to watch. And secondly, it was a sport where our coming in would make a difference.
Absolutely, yes.
It didn't make any sense us coming in and putting our time and effort in a sport where there was already a lot of players already, and where our coming in wouldn't make that much of a difference, right? We wanted to come in and lift up a whole community of athletes, which we've managed to do with the Pro Panja League, because there was nobody, they didn't have any kind of platform. There was an very strong amateur scene for quite a few years. There's very good players, but there was no real professional platform. So we came in and provided that, and I would say that we've grown the sport a lot in the last 3-4 years, and now this year we're poised to be launching our first full-fledged league season.
Wow.
We're going to be doing a big announcement in the next 2-3 days. In fact, if you had spoken to me maybe a day or two later, I would have been able to speak to you about that.
Oh,
but
okay, sure.
we have signed something. It's just gotta come in from the other side as well. So otherwise, I would have spoken to you about it.
Sure.
But so just to let you know, there is a big announcement coming tomorrow, the day after.
Wow, we will all be waiting for that in anticipation. Wow, great. Congrats in advance. Yeah, sure. So, I mean, just like Kabaddi, arm wrestling is also, I guess, a sport which could go into the interiors, right? Because this is a sport which is very native in nature, I guess, arm wrestling. Something that a state like Punjab, or Haryana, I think they're really into it, right? So, I mean, if you really give arm wrestling the right platform, I think it could really become a mass sport, right? All across India, because ultimately India is no matter what.
I'll tell you something. One of the things that surprised me, and it's glad you brought it up. My perception also was that it's big in Punjab and Haryana,
Okay.
And we'll take it to the rest of the country. Let me tell you, it's already there in the rest of the country.
Yeah.
Our top state in terms of athletes is Kerala. We get our maximum from the jump champions from Kerala in Benam. We have Madhya Pradesh, which is big, Assam, Orissa, UP, then your Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, everything, so they're all, it's literally spread across the country, like literally.
Wow, that's really great news, right? I mean, it's not like it's in some pockets. For example, in boxing, I know it will be in Haryana, in Bhiwani, or Manipur for that matter.
Northeast.
Northeast. Yeah. Or likewise, wrestling, I know where to go. I have to go to Akhare in Haryana, or maybe Maharashtra also a little bit.
Maharashtra, quite a few.
Yes.
Some places like volleyball is big in Kerala and here, there, different states. So, but this is a sport that is really spread across the country, which is great.
That's really great news. Sure. Yeah. Great things are ahead of us that means in arm wrestling. Yes.
Absolutely.
Talk about training. Now, for example, since we already brought up the discussion about where to find a wrestler. For example, I know I have to go to Akhara. For example, an aspiring wrestler needs to go to Akhara, or maybe a proper training arena with a coach. Likewise, for a boxing, I know where to send the aspiring boxer to. He needs to go to a training camp. He needs to have a good sparring partner, a good coach. He basically needs to be inside the ring. Now, in terms of arm wrestling, which is still evolving, where do you think an aspiring arm wrestler needs to go in terms of his training? I hope you're getting a point. The whole ecosystem. Yeah.
He needs to go to a Pro Panja tournament.
Oh, wow. Absolutely. Yeah.
True. That's where he will find inspiration.
True.
And a path forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. True. Yeah.
So we have a lot of people contacting us, about wanting to become arm wrestlers on sportsindiashow.com.
Yeah.
We have a registration form as well. So we have thousands and thousands of people who have registered, especially after watching our tournaments.
Yeah.
We've really managed to up the entertainment quotient and the sports quotient. Players understand what they have to do, perform. It's not just a sport, it's entertainment as well, while at the same time keeping the sport itself sacrosanct and pure, but it needs to be watchable, right? So we've concentrated a lot on making the sport watchable, and the youngsters, the up and coming guys, are also seeing that and wanting to emulate that, right? We already have people emulating some of our stars.
True. Yes.
So which is great. We have a very, very strong social media community. Since July 2022 till now, we've had 219 million views on our social media.
Wow.
Which is Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So, our social media has grown exponentially. Our numbers have grown exponentially. Even now, before our first season, we are averaging 4 to 5. Let me just tell you 1 second. Like I said, the total number is 219 million so far, and I'll just tell you how many we are doing on an average. Sorry, just give me 1 second.
Yeah, please.
I always keep the stats.
Yeah, that's what. You're a very data-oriented person, I guess.
So I don't make any, So we're averaging 4 million views a month still.
Really?
You know,
Wow. Yeah.
so that's not a bad average before your first season. And
Of course, yeah.
like I said, that's right now, many months after our last tournament. But we've had since July, we've had 219 million views. So it's not bad. The whole idea is to cross over that viewership onto the broadcast when it happens.
True, yeah. Great job done. Sure. Now, can you just tell us a little bit more about the format of the league? Because I'm sure, of course, you have got different weight categories, but otherwise, how do you have the entire format framed for your league? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's going to be 6 teams, and there's 10 weight categories. There's 6 men, 3 women, and 1 specially able. So it's also the only league in the world which has men, women, and specially able all on the same platform.
Wow.
So it's gender neutral, it's physical ability neutral. And let me tell you, some of the specially able guys are damn strong. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Some of them can probably beat some of the normal players because
Wow.
they're using their hands all the time.
All the time, right? True. Yes.
Very strong. The ladies are very strong. Some of our ladies have beaten guys, and a lot of guys.
Wow.
So I would not want to mess them. So it's basically 10 weight categories. Each weight category will have 3 players in each weight category in every team. So every team will have 30 players. And we will have, so everybody in this format, it's going to be a 17-day format. The first 15 days, every team is going to play everybody else twice. So every day in the 2 hours, there's going to be 4 teams playing. The first hour, 2 teams are going to play each other. The next hour, 2 more teams weight category and 10 weight categories in every team. So that's 30 players per team, 6 teams. It's going to be a 17-day first season. The first 15 days, every team is going to play each other twice. Okay, so the first 15 days, it's going to be each day. It's going to be 2 live hours, live stream. And the first hour, there's going to be 2 teams. And the next hour, there's going to be 2 teams. So every day, 4 teams are going to play. And each hour will have 3 matches. The 3 matches are going to be best of 5 matches. So that's how the basic scenario and structure is going to go. And then the top 4 teams on the 16th day are going to be playing in the semifinals. And of course, the last day is going to be the finals.
Wow, great. Now, for example, in ISL, of course, we've got foreign players. Then in Kabaddi also, we have seen a few Iranian players coming in here and there.
We're going to have foreign players from the 3rd year onwards.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. So you'll have this.
Of course, yeah, we will. Let me tell you, every foreign player in the world wants to come on our platform.
Yes, that's what. Yeah.
We're doing stuff in arm wrestling which nobody else is doing. So, but the reason we want to wait 2 years is because we want to develop the Indian standard even more before we, bring in foreign players, so to speak. So we want to give the Indian players a bigger chance in the first 2 years, and then we bring in foreign players after that.
True. Now, for example, as we speak, arm wrestling is something that is, it's very native in nature, right? I mean, it's been played for quite many years back in India, but then I guess Europe and also the US has really picked it up quite heavily.
It's a global game.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where do you think, before you coming in, of course, now of course you have really developed arm wrestling in India to quite a height. But where is that you think we missed the bus, wherein the other guys, other countries basically developed to a stage wherein we still lag behind. Of course, we are catching up, but where is that you think we missed the trick basically, wherein the other countries?
See, I'll tell you. I think there are some things I can't talk about because I'm contractually obligated to some people not to talk badly about them.
No.
So
obviously, yes. Sure.
So the thing is, there are very talented players in the country. They haven't got the opportunities they should have because of whatever reasons. Let's just say that. So we are here to make sure now that they do get those opportunities, and they have been getting them. So, you are very soon going to be seeing a lot of Indian stars on the global scene and beating global players as well. It's going to take a little time, but, in certain weight categories, you're already going to see that happen. Our players really, are dedicated, talented. They work out. They're very passionate about the sport. So you're going to very soon see them. Not all the best players have got the opportunity to play abroad a lot of times, even if it's at the Asian or the World Championship. A lot of times it's been the players who could afford to go abroad have been going there. So even like right now, the Asian Championship is is happening in Dubai, and we're taking a team there. We are providing a certain amount of financial assistance also to some players to help them go there as well, and things are being provided at cost as well to them, which never has happened before. So, and even on top of that, Pro Panja League is providing financial assistance to some players to be able to help them get there, to ensure that the best players are representing India.
Wow, great. Yeah. I mean, that's so very important, right? Because I'm sure a lot of these guys who really play the sport might not be from affluent families, right? I mean, going abroad, competing somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's
They're
also,
not. Let me tell you, they're
sure.
farmers,
Yes.
they're trainers, they're bouncers, they're carpenters, they're government officers. They do all
Wow.
kinds
True.
of stuff. You got what I'm saying? So they're very sons and daughters of the soil.
True. I mean, yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to ask you actually. Uh, so for example, all these guys who might not be trained kind of stuff for arm wrestling, right? But I guess they have got that raw power which needs to be honed, and that could be honed with more number of matches as you have provided in Pro Panja League, right? Because I guess what they bring to the table might not be technical. It could be just raw power, right? And which need to be refined. And as they play more matches, as they experience themselves, experience the other guy across the table, I think that's where they're really going to hone themselves technically.
Let me tell you, see, we had a tournament to select the top players for the Pro Panja League. And the players on the Pro Panja League, let me tell you, are really the cream of the cream. There are some really, really talented players who were not able to make the cut.
Okay.
So these players have been training their heart out. They are very high level players. Like I said, very talented players weren't able to make the cut. There's going to be a very large pool of players going ahead for the teams to choose from. And I really foresee this sport becoming very popular on broadcast on TV as well, because it's a very entertaining, very swift sport, and it's the only combat sport which doesn't have your usual mardhar, and which is going to be family friendly viewing.
Yes, true.
People will be able to understand the sport. So I really feel that the players, they're very excited. There's a large pool of players. Our league is going to grow, touch wood, I feel, exponentially very soon. It's all a matter of getting it off the ground now, the first season.
True. Absolutely, yeah. Now talking, I mean, because we have really seen all these guys from close quarters, right? All these players, because that's Pro Panja League is where all these guys really come in, the cream I'm talking about. Do you have any? I'm sure you'll have. Who are the guys who really comes to top of your mind? Okay, this is the guy who can really make it big. Do you have somebody in your mind? I'm sure you have. Yeah.
There are quite a few players. Let me just try. I hope I don't forget anything. There's Mazahir Saidu, who actually trains out of Dubai. Very, very, very talented. Not many people in India can face up to him. There's even in the heavyweight, there's Dilshad, Sanjay Deswal. In the 100 kgs, there's Jagdish Barua, Samir VT. And in the 90 kgs, there's 90 kgs is actually, let me tell you, the killer's alley, because it is so tight and talented.
Yeah.
There are really, really good arm wrestlers who couldn't make the cut in 90 kgs. The top 5 is like anybody could be number 1 on their day. There's Toheed Sheikh, who's the champion. There's Karaj Work, Harman Man, Siddharth Malakar, Arpan Man, and a host of other names who are just, all superstars. Let me tell you, they any of them could win on that day. And then in the 80 kgs, there's Ali, who also now, who trains in and out of Dubai. Again, a really talented arm wrestler, and he won our Sunil Kumar Player of the Tournament in the ranking tournament in Gwalior. So he got the Player of the Tournament, let's say, prize. Then there's Sachin Goel, again out of Gwalior, really talented. And in the 70 kgs, there's Rahul Panikar, who's already a superstar. He beat Larry Wheels, which was a fight in Dubai, which went viral all over the globe.
Wow.
And then there's Akash Kumar, Satnam Singh, and quite a few others. And then in the 60 kgs, there's there's Stevie also in the 70 kgs. There is in the 60 kgs, there is Yazaev, there's Parmeet, and quite a few hosts of the others. In the above 65 kgs women, there's Yogesh Chaudhary, Jinsi Jose, Pui from the Northeast, and in 65 kgs, Chetna Sharma has been a killer for quite some time. She's beaten a lot of boys. There's Neetu, there's Seema Goswami, Kusum Goswami, and a lot of other talented ladies as well. In 55 kgs women, there's Arya, Shreya, Karishma Kapoor, and again, a host of other ladies, and specially able. There's Chandan, there's Srinivas, there's Manish Kumarji, and, again, a host of other players. So all of these guys, there's already a host of names who we have who are, like at the pinnacle, peak of their abilities right now. And these people, let me tell you, people are going to know their names. Right now, the arm wrestling fans, communities, like you've seen, there's we have a huge millions of views. So people already know them on the net. But let me tell you, in the public perception, also, these people are going to become stars very soon.
Sure. So it's all stacked up, right? I mean, there are too many guys up there. Wow, great.
Yeah.
So, practically speaking, how many years do you really say, arm wrestling as a sport would take for India to really mature to that level wherein, we are kind of one of the world powers, so to say, 5-10 years? Because we are just starting, right? Let's be honest. Yeah.
Well, we're not just starting. Like I said, the amateur scene has been very strong. I would give it 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, right now, you won't believe who's the number one arm wrestling nation in the world right now.
Yeah.
Have you heard of a country? Have you heard of a country called Kazakhstan?
Yes, of course.
Well, Kazakhstan right now is the number one amateur, arm wrestling country in the world.
Wow.
Middle Asia is a powerhouse. Georgia, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, all of these countries are powerhouse. Then there's Eastern Europe, there's Russia, then there's America, Canada, so all of these countries are really powerhouses of talent, and Middle Asia has some of the best guys in the world,
Wow. So we've got a great future ahead of us, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
Sure. So, so I guess arm wrestling is something wherein you need trainers, of course. You need the physical strength. You need a lot of training. So what kind of, so do we already have the right trainers here in India who could, bring up those kind of, arm wrestlers?
We do.
Yeah,
we do. We have trainers, we have coaches, but we also plan on bringing down foreign coaches and foreign players to help the players. In our last tournament in Gwalior, we brought down one of the world champions, a guy called Monster Michael Todd, who came with his wife.
Yes. Yeah.
So they came down and they gave a seminar to the players, explained some techniques and everything, helped them out. So we plan on doing that on a regular basis to bring down foreign experts to help the players. So, that's one way, of course, of inspiring them and imparting knowledge. We have, it's one way for the coaches and trainers here also to pick up a lot of tips and everything as well.
So, it's really great that you are, seeing all directions. Not only that you are looking only at doing a league wherein a lot of people participate, which is in itself is a big thing actually. But then you're also sponsoring people, making them go abroad, playing tournaments, which is again very important, right? To stay competitive. And then again, you're also thinking in terms of bringing the right trainers. I guess you're thinking in terms of really building the nation in terms of its arm wrestling strength, right? It's not like you're just having a league wherein you're making people just compete, right? I mean, you're looking at the 360-degree angle wherein you're involved in developing it as a sport, right? As an overall sport.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely. That is the idea, because see, we've adopted the sport. It's not just about promoting a league, it's adopting a sport and growing the sport in the country. So, that is what we've been doing. And I think the players all realize what we've been doing. So they are very, very strongly behind us and appreciate what we've been doing.
True. Sure. So as we move ahead, let's have a few rapid fire questions.
Sure.
Of course, we can't. We already relate you as somebody who is into sports, but we of course will never forget you as a movie star. So a few questions will pertain to movies as well. So
Okay, great.
yeah. So it's a mix and match, I guess. So which would be your favorite sports movie across genres?
I'll take a couple of names if that's
Sure,
fine.
sure. Yes, why not? Yeah.
Bhag Milka Bhag.
Wow. Okay.
And Chariots of Fire. And Coach Carter, a couple of basketball movies. I'm a big basketball fan as well. I used to basketball in school and college as well in the team. Yeah.
Wow, great, sure. And if you really have to direct a movie, whom would you, direct it? I mean, which movie? Which sporting icon would you want to imitate that in your movie, basically?
Who would I make a movie on?
Yes, yes.
I would want to make it on Dhyan Chand.
Okay, hockey. Okay, great. Sure.
Hockey, because he is a sporting icon of our nation, and he deserves a huge film to be made on his name.
Sure. And if it has to be somebody who is not Indian, who would be
if it's
outside
not
India?
Indian, then I would say like Muhammad Ali already has a movie made on him, but I would want to make it on a boxing star. Of course, Vijender Singh from our country, and it's really funny. There was I think he was a triple jumper quite a few years back, and I forgot his name, but he was from Sweden. And what really interested me about him was reading about him. He was like a smoker, a drinker, and everything, but he just trained his ass off, and he was a gold champion. So I just found his story so interesting. I forgot his name, but the fact that he had all these vices, but he just trained so hard that it didn't matter.
Wow.
So I thought that was really interesting and quirky, and would make an unbelievable film.
True. I mean, that's really going to be a big story there. I mean, somebody with a triple jumper and that too. And then after being a heavy smoker and stuff like that, yeah.
I think he was a high jumper. I forgot. Yeah. Okay. But anyways.
Sure. Your favorite holiday destination?
Thailand.
Okay. That's also where we got Muay Thai, I guess. Muay Thai.
Exactly. I get to do some Muay Thai camps in the morning, eat all day, lounge on the beach, scuba dive, everything. So.
Oh yeah, you are also in scuba diving, right? Yes. Wow. Oh, so you actually go there at Tiger Muay Thai and do a few.
I've not been to Tiger Muay Thai yet, but I've been to some others in Koh Samui.
Wow, great, sure. The movie that you liked the most, in which your wife Preeti Jhangiani acted in?
Awara Pagal Divana. I like comedies.
Yes. Oh, okay. I thought it could be Muawate. Sure. So of course, you are both in sports and movies. So if you really have to choose today between sports and movies, which would be the one?
Oh, I'd have to choose movies because it pays the bills right now. Okay. And it pays the bills for sports as well.
True. Yes, absolutely.
All my movie money is going into sports, so I have to choose.
Movies, right? True, true. Yes, yes. Pro Panja League in the next 10 years?
A global force.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Sure, sure, sure. And do you see arm wrestling being part of Olympics in years to come, in a few years to come?
Hopefully, we've been trying. We were trying to get it into the Paralympics for
Yeah.
24, but not managed yet. So hopefully, for the next Olympics after that, for the Paralympics, we managed to get it in.
Sure, 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 sure. Thank you so much, Parvin Dabas. It was really a pleasure talking to you. Of course, I have watched your movie when I was in college in Symbiosis. I'd grown up, seeing your movie, Monsoon Wedding especially, that has been so close to my heart. And today, you're giving back to Indian sport in such a phenomenon way through your Pro Panja League, and then also, MMA shows and all that. And we really look forward to your more participation in terms of promoting Indian sports, be it through arm wrestling or through any other means. And you already have been successful, taking arm wrestling to that level wherein we can really think that okay, in the next 4 or 5 years, India is going to be right up there against the biggies, be it the European countries or maybe in any other countries. And thank you so much, Parveen. Keep doing your good work. We're all with you. And thank you so much for coming in as well, and all the best.
Thanks.
And
Thanks.
also,
It was
of
a
course,
pleasure. And let me tell you, I congratulate you also on doing a great job, because sports podcasts are very important also. They're part of the ecosystem to grow sport
sure.
and for the audience to know about what is going on. So keep up the good work. Thank you and take care.
Thank you so much, Parveen. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Bye.